Today we're going to be tying a green caddis streaker pattern. This is a European pattern that recently has been brought to the United States. It's very effective, especially on bugs like the green caddis that are going to be doing some on-water egg laying. So I've got a TMC 100 here, some 6/0 black uni thread. I'm going to start behind the eye. I'm going to go clear on back to the bend. I'm going to tie in a piece of McKenzie Green Vernal. So what I've done here is I've just taken my scissors and exposed a little bit of the core on there. That's going to make it a nice tie-in point without building up a huge amount of bulk. I'm going to wrap my thread back up to about the halfway mark. I'm just going to wrap that Vernal forward. Got a nice body there built up. Abdomen. Next thing I'm going to do is I've got a piece of light dun dyed sparkle emerger yarn. It's kind of an antron type material that helps kind of pick up some light, adds a little bit of flash without being too flashy. So I've got about a single strand of that. I'm just going to tie that in right on top of the body. I'm going to take that back just a little ways past the bend of the hook. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stack the wing. So I've got some dyed dun Comparadun hair. Again, I've got some longer fibers in here. It's not as fine, but makes it really perfect for this application. Make a nice wing. Cut that off the hide. Go through and pick out as much of that under fur as you can. It's going to help reduce bulk in the tie-in, make it a little bit easier to get it to adhere to the hook. Put that in our stacker. Nice even tips. And take that wing and we're going to come up just past where that yarn ended. We want to make sure that that wing is on there nice and tight. I'm holding on the whole time so it doesn't rotate on me a whole bunch. So normally we would just post that up and cut it off like an elk-hair caddis, but on this pattern it's got kind of almost a spun head. So I'm just going to leave that stuff there. It's going to make it easier for me to not cut my wing in the next step when we're actually trimming the head back. So on the next couple gathers of hair, we're making kind of a muddler style spun head. I'm not going to bother to stack it because we're not looking for even ends. We're just looking for the hair density. So again, I am going to remove the underfur, make it easier to get it on board. A lot of people are intimidated by these heads. They're really not that hard. Just a little bit of patience and seems like you can get it pretty nice. So I'll just come over the top like that. Let that spin around. A little bit of a push. Try to put just a little bit more in there to fill in the head. Just adjust your hair to how much space you have kind of on the hook. It might take you a time or two to get it right, but it'll be worth it. Now just take all that hair, get it out of my way. So we got a big dun colored puffball here. So I've whip finished my head. Now I'm going to kind of pull all that hair back that we spun on there. So mostly stubs is what I'm looking for. I'm going to leave that wing as intact as possible. So I've got kind of the ends here, my tips of my wing. I'm just going to come in and kind of give it a little cursory haircut. Just touch up the last little bit here. So one of the things about this fly is that we've got a nice muddler head on there. We can actually tighten it up a little bit more. Now this is something that you're probably not going to want to do while your loved one is in the room because it smells bad. But we're going to take a lighter to this head and just kind of singe the hair down a little bit. Not a ton, just enough to make it hardened up a bit. Then we'll take this stiff nylon dubbing brush, clean it up just a little tiny bit. All that's doing is just removing that charcoal from it. So the last thing is that you have to determine how you're going to fish this fly. Are you going to fish it as a swung wet fly, which works very well? Are you going to fish it as a hopper dropper, that which also works very well? If you want more flotation to this fly, you know, we've got a great spun hair and all that on there. We can put a couple drops of watershed on it, which is a waterproofing solution. Once we do that, this fly is very much a high floater. Just a couple drops on there. It makes all the difference in the world. I've had pieces of this body material soaked in watershed before that have floated in a glass of water for over a month. So it works really, really well on a material that normally would soak up a bit of water. It's been a fantastic producing pattern for the last couple of years. It's one of my new favorites. I hope it's also one of yours.